Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
The emergence of COVID-19 pandemic, the Economic Community of West African State Parliamentarians is advocating for a robust deployment of information communication technology to aid quality education so as to bridge the inequality gap in the region. Speaker of the Parliament, Honorable Sidi Tunis, hinted this while declaring open the meeting of Parliament's Joint Committee on Education, Science and Technology, Communication and Information Technology, and the Committee on Political Affairs, Peace, Security, as well as Committee on Infrastructure in Lomé, the capital city of Togo. He noted that, having examined the extent of destruction to the educational sectors, it has become expedient for West African leaders to prioritize the use of technology to advance learning, thus making it available and accessible in order to war against the most threatening socio-economic inequality in education across member states. The speaker added that the existing disparities in education are unquantifiable, especially for most vulnerable children, youth, adults, and those living with disabilities. Hence, looking inwardly to strengthening the sector through innovations is a matter of urgency aimed at charting out a post-COVID-19 period in the sub-region.
COVID-19 pandemic created the largest disruption in the educational system in history, affecting nearly 1.6 billion learners in more than 190 countries in all continents. In addition to the exacerbation of pre-existing education disparities, COVID-19 also reduced learning opportunities for many of the most vulnerable children, youths, and adults, especially rural dwellers and those living with disabilities. Closure of schools and other learning spaces have impacted approximately 94% of the world's student population, with up to 99% of this percentage being in the lower middle income countries. The conventional paradigm of teaching suffered a severe setback all over the world, particularly our dear, young, and fragile community, West Africa. With these innovations, and as the world plans to chart out a post-COVID-19 period, we at the ECOWAS Parliament believe that addressing access to information and communication technology to promote learning is a matter of urgency. I sincerely believe that this gathering is also an indication of our quest to guide against new forms of socio-economic inequalities, especially in the education sector across our region. As you may all be aware, the general objective of this delocalized joint committee meeting is to reflect on the possibility of guaranteeing a truly digital learning environment with unhindered access to the internet. It will also lay the basics for Parliament's identification of a relevant intervention mechanism in order to make an efficient contribution to the implementation of the ECOWAS Protocol on Education and Training, as well as make recommendations that are geared towards impacting the sector.
Meanwhile, other speakers at the event lament on numerous challenges regarding the switching into high broadband technology, noting that it has become necessary to direct government at all regions to ensure massive investment in infrastructural development for the benefit of the youth of ECOWAS countries.
Instrument can be more effective than education, but we help us to give the youth what it takes, the power they need to change the society. That commits us to investing massively in the information technology for the youth. Because as it is true that it is necessary for our parliament to come out from their traditional role and be able to position themselves for a provider of solution to our respective governments. The task of modernization and preparing our community for the contemporary challenges makes us to do this.
Quality education it's essential to equip youth with skills that they need and to avail them of the opportunity to acquire formal remunerated jobs and to also help them be competitive in the labor market. However, the educational system in our countries is facing a number of daunting challenges which handicaps the ability of countries to provide youth with quality education. This is first of all explained by the lack of quality infrastructure, as you all know, and furthermore, most schools have inadequate classrooms and are also ill-equipped in libraries and computer services. Some lack access to electricity and therefore can't connect to high broadband technology.
Quality News correspondent report that the theme of the Joint Committee is ECOWAS in the era of COVID-19 and beyond, focusing on information and communication technology to promote distance education and training in ECOWAS member states. Vincent Okushi, reporting for Quality Television.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.